Hey guys, it's Megan and today I'm going to bring you a little chatty finance update, spending and savings like strategy. I almost said meeting. We are in a meeting kind of shopaholic recovery people. So this year I have big plans. I have big goals. I am really like motivated and really excited. So my two main goals for 2021 are to pay off my student loans and to purchase a home. And buying a home is like, has been a goal for several years, and I'm really glad that it didn't work out in 2020 because I don't know, it was such a difficult year, so many changes, so many like really challenging things in our world, in our personal lives. Like it was just a really stressful year. And I remember when I had like a really like hard, lots of changes in my life during one period of time, and even some of the changes were positive, but it is very stressful. And I remember talking to my doctor about like how stressed I was, and that like even some of the changes were good and I didn't know why I was so like upset all the time. And she was like, even positive changes are stressful. And I mean, moving is very stressful even if it is a positive thing. So I'm glad that it didn't work out for me in 2020 for many reasons, and one of them was that I wanted to be with my family, and that was really important for me and my mental health, and I'm just glad it all like happened that way, because I wouldn't have wanted to move out to be on my own during a time where we were all very isolated anyhow. So overall, I'm really glad that I didn't purchase a home last year. And the market is just crazy. Like it's definitely a seller's market. Houses around here are selling within days, and I just didn't feel confident purchasing a home like during all the things that were going on. So it allowed me to save a lot last year, and I definitely spent a lot last year as well. And you guys saw lots and lots of hauls on my channel, and recently I really like kind of come to a conclusion that all the stuff I got last year, I love it. Like I feel like I made really great purchases, but because I was buying so much, I didn't even have the chance to really enjoy and use everything that I bought because it was just so much all the time. And this year I've already seen like a change in my habits where like I will really like the look of something and my immediate thought is like, oh, I'm definitely gonna buy that. But even within a few hours and definitely within a few days, I completely forget about it, and I'm so glad I didn't buy it. Like there are very few things that I bought this year, and it's because I have pretty much like not wanted anything after like a day or two. So I'm very glad about that, and I want to keep up that like mentality, because it is definitely a mental thing. Like if I remind myself, oh man, you definitely have something like at least comparable to that, or like I was thinking about getting a new hydrating serum and I asked you guys for recommendations, and then I went into my skincare backups and I had this Skin Fix hydrating serum that I used a few times but didn't like keep on my shelf, and I was like, oh my gosh, let me just use that and I'll use it up. And by the time I use it up, I'm sure, because I'm very fortunate to get like a lot of skincare PR, I'm sure I'll get something else by that time that I need it again. So I'm really trying to think about, like, as much as I might like want something in the moment, thinking about like, what do I have that can serve a similar purpose? What do I have that I probably forgot about that I have that will do the job perfectly fine? And if for some reason I don't have something that can replace it, thinking about like, do I actually really want that? Like, will it just distract me from other things I enjoy? And those type of like questions to myself that I was a lot better about in the past, but I'm kind of giving myself a pass on 2020, to be honest. And I didn't like spend money I didn't have. I didn't spend money I shouldn't have. Of course, I could have saved more if I didn't spend it, but it wasn't like I was going into debt or like not able to save because of spending. So I could have saved more, but I was still chipping away at my student loans, like paying all my bills, all of those things that I have to do. And I really save a huge amount of my paycheck. And I would just really encourage you guys to have automatic payments for savings. So like that, I would definitely suggest retirement. I have it taken out like even before I get my paycheck, which I think is pretty common if your company has like a 401k or 403b, whatever you have. And if you don't have something like that, having a direct removal of your money like the day it hits your bank account, so you don't even miss it. Like if it just is removed like the day you get paid, you probably won't even like think about it. At least that's what I've learned with myself. So I have, ever since I had a 401k at my first job, and now I have, with like changing jobs, you get like a new 401k. So my previous one, I transferred to my IRA, and then my new 401k with my current company, I have always put 10% of my paycheck. And that has seriously been mind-blowing to see how much money I already have for retirement at age 28. I've at least been saving for a full 4 years in my 401k, and this will be the 5th year. And it adds up, and it adds up without you even realizing it, and it will continue to grow and everything until you're like 65. And 65 feels like a million years from now, but I will be so glad that I did this for myself when I am older and my parents are getting to the age of retirement and talking about like their retirements. And it's just really exciting to see like all the money they have saved over the years like finally coming to fruition, and seeing like really why you put money into those accounts, and even just your personal savings accounts. It really pays off. And thinking about like paying yourself first, that is just like a basic of, I think Dave Ramsey, that's like one of the basics of his like philosophy. And it's such a great thing to think about with like when you get your paycheck, the first thing that should be done is taking out for savings or paying off like your debts. And that is, of course, with my student loans, that is one of my only debts that I have, that and my car that I pay a car payment for. And I'm really, really hopeful with the new Biden-Harris administration. They have been talking about paying off $10,000 of student loans. And I'm so hoping that they pass that, because that is literally life-changing money. And I don't have anywhere near 10,000 anymore, but that would have been really amazing to have 10,000 when I did have over 10,000. Now I have less than 5,000, which is so rewarding to see, like really getting down to like finally paying off my loans. And it's obviously helpful that they haven't had any interest on student loans since the pandemic hit, and thankfully that is extended through September of this year. But if they will pay off 10,000 of people's loans, like, oh my God, that would literally be insane, because I would have that money that I typically pay towards my student loans every month. I would have that I could save or put towards like furniture or things like that for my future home. So I'm really hopeful about that. But even if that doesn't end up happening, which would really be upsetting, but I still am on track to pay off my student loans this year, which is super, super, super exciting. So that is definitely one of my goals. And then purchasing a home, that's what I've been saving for, and I definitely have a really great like amount of money that I can use for a down payment. And so I haven't been like taking tours or anything like that for like house hunting, but I get like the Zillow report every day. I think it comes out like the top 10 houses for you. And so I'm always looking at those and deciding like what I think is worth it to me, that I would put money towards like fixing up a house, but like where do you draw the line with that? Because like if it needs a new roof or it needs a new like whole kitchen, if it's like super outdated, like some houses have like the original kitchen from like the 50s, and though it might work, like it probably is on its last legs, or like I just want a more updated kitchen. It doesn't have to be like a super fancy kitchen or anything by any stretch of the imagination, but there are things that I am looking for in a home that are important to me and that I don't really have a ton of money to fix up completely. If it's like new appliances and all that stuff, like I could obviously save for that over time, but there are certain things I would want in the home when I get there to be like already good. But of course, fixing things up to then sell it for more than you bought it for, obviously part of the strategy. But that is like my main goal. And then I don't know what 2021 will bring with like traveling and things like that. Of course, I would love to travel, and a lot of plans that I had, pretty much every plan I had for 2020 was like canceled. I was supposed to go to Korea with my sister. I was supposed to go to Disney with one of my best friends, and those things didn't happen. Now I am thinking about, will any of those things be like possible in 2021? Probably not, like, to be honest, but maybe at the end of the year, me and Caitlin would go to Disney. We are like keeping our options open, but we were thinking about, okay, maybe like later on in the fall or winter, things will be better if like vaccines are widespread and stuff. So there's a possibility of taking at least one vacation later this year. And then in 2022, I am super excited because one of my best friends is getting married, and it's a like abroad wedding. Woo! I'm so excited. So that is something that like she told me in 2020, and so I have been able to save and like knowingly, purposefully save for that trip, because like the flights are expensive, and then of course if I'm going to be abroad, I might extend the vacation to explore and all those things. So that is like another big expense that I am planning for. And so all of those things that like really excite me about the future, it encourages me to save more. And I think that's what happened in 2020, is that it was like there was no point to like save for like vacations or concerts or those experiences that I normally would be like really excited about and motivated to save for. Like I was saving minimal amounts in those like categories, but I mostly spent the money that I would normally be saving for those things. And like I said, I'm kind of giving myself a pass for 2020, but thinking like psychologically about it, I think that is the reason I spend more in 2020 than I normally would have on like material things. One, it was just a great escape, something that made me happy during such a difficult year. And since I didn't have like those big ticket items like vacations or like concerts that I love to go to, it definitely left some room in my budget for other things. And looking back, I would have enjoyed saving more of that money, but honestly, I don't regret anything I purchased. I feel like I made like smart purchases, even though I made more purchases than I should have. But all in all, I don't like regret it or anything like that. But definitely feeling excited about like a future Disney trip, my abroad trip for my friend's wedding, like purchasing a home and like wanting furniture and like all of those things. Those are like motivating factors for me to save, and I'm someone that I need to be looking forward to something. Like that is very much part of like my like psychology, and I'm always just thinking about what's next, and like the next thing really motivates me basically. And not saying that's like good, I wish I was more of an in the moment person, but I am someone that like the future and the next thing really motivate me. And so having those things that are more likely and more tangible are definitely motivating factors to encourage me to keep saving and save, like spend less so I can save more basically. And if you watch my vlogs, you saw that I got this little planner that's like a budget planner from the Happy Planner company, and it's like a month by month planner that allows you to, like, you could do this with any planner or notebook, but basically it has like an overview for the month that you can like map out your expenses and then like any overall like goals for the month. And then it, on the next page, it has like to buy during the month, to save for, and don't forget. So if there's like a big payment that you're making, or like you're chipping away at like some debt or some payment that you want to make, like you could write a little note to yourself here. And then it has an overall look at the month, like day by day. And so here I put my bills that are like reoccurring, or like if I just have a certain bill that month, I would put like how much and like what it's for. And then what I love the most is that it has a like weekly view. And so in each of these day slots, I write if I spend any money, or like save any money, or have any money coming in, like my paychecks. And then at the very end of the week, in this little block, it's like a blank section, I total those up and I put them in different categories. So I have like my fun money, which is my spending money, and I like color coordinate them. And so I total up whatever I had for the week. So I have like my fun money, my bills, necessities, and like savings or other categories. And so it's really helped me. I've only like started it in January, but it's really helped me to see like the first week of the year I spent like a lot more, and then like throughout each week I have spent like less and less. I want to get to the point where every month I have like a budget of the fun money and I spend less and less and less, and it kind of like adds up over time, so then I can make like a bigger purchase if like it's the Sephora VIB sale, for example. So right now I haven't like mapped everything out yet, and that's like the next step I want to take, is to like break down how much I want to spend in different categories, because right now I kind of lump all things together in my fun money, but it includes like clothing. And clothing, like it depends on what the clothing is, but a lot of times it's like replacements of things, like if I get new jeans or like leggings or things like that that are kind of like essential to me, like those are things I probably want to budget like separately. So if you guys have any recommendations on like how you break that up, because it does, I don't know, I just need to think about it in a different way, I think, because like I also use like Starbucks or things like that that are like treats in the same category as like fun money, but sometimes it's just like it's not the same. I don't know. So those are things I need to like think through and figure out how it works best for me. And I feel like I should have figured that out a long time ago, but it just never has clicked. Like I've never figured out a way that it really clicks to like break up all that stuff and to be like, okay, my yearly clothing budget is X, my yearly makeup budget or beauty budget is X. And like, I don't know. I just have never done that like to see it through. And I feel like if I did it for like this year, it would like really click and become like second nature. So if you have tips on that, please let me know, especially if you have struggled with it and like what made you like get it and what made it like click for you, because that would really be helpful for me. And even if it's just like in my planner, I write it down every month, like this is how much you have left for clothing, beauty, etc. For the year. And so like it really makes you think about like spending your money wisely. And then like when only you really need something or really want something, then it like takes the money out of that section. I need it like in compartments, and my spending money is all like in one like account, and I just need to think about it in different ways. And I've tried You Need a Budget, and I've tried other things, and it just doesn't work for me for some reason, and I don't know. So give me your tips and what works for you. We're all so different, but it's just helpful to get a lot of different like perspectives on it. So that is kind of my overall like my goals for this year, and I want to do a video if you guys are interested in it on like Sephora sales, and like whenever, if ever, Ulta will do like another 20% off. Like I want to really think about those things like strategically, and to make sure like I'm pretty much not buying anything from those stores unless there is like that 20% off or whatever, because I'll just buy like random things here and there, and sometimes it's stuff that I've like really wanted and it goes on sale, so I'll pick it up. But a lot of times I just like pick up random stuff that like I never wanted before, and while I like it, I would rather really think about things and like buy stuff I really want during those sales, instead of buying like a bunch of random stuff that I kind of want or that's new. Like I really just want to buy things that I've really wanted, because then it makes you more appreciative of it. And that was like my goal word for 2020, was like appreciate, and then 2020 just went like down the drain, so I didn't really like dwell on that as much. And I think that's like the mentality I want to get back to, is like really only buying things like that I really save for or really like want and spend out of like that category's budget. And so it like means that much more to me that like I chose to buy it over something else, which probably means I really wanted it and really will like cherish it and stuff. So I don't know, I'm just trying to get my like brain on straight for this year, and I think I'm off to a good start for sure. So let me know if you have any specific like other types of financial or just like spending or saving types of topics that you would want to hear me talk about, because definitely in the past when I talked about it more, it made me more successful with it because I was always thinking about it. So I would love to do these videos more, and like I said, I'm definitely a recovering shopaholic, and I will always love shopping. I'm sure it's just like part of me, I feel like. And yeah, so if that makes you feel like you can relate to that, definitely feel free to ask me any questions and we can work through this together. And yeah, so I got a lot of requests on like my spending and my saving for 2021. So this is kind of like setting the baseline of this is what I want to achieve in 2021. These are the things that I'm wanting to work on, and this little notebook is how I'm like starting to like keep myself accountable and stuff. But I definitely have a lot of things that I can improve on. So give me your feedback, send me your requests, and I will be happy to do more of these like chit chat videos. I definitely miss doing them. So I hope you all are doing really well. Best of luck in 2021, hitting your savings goals or paying off your debt or other like big things that you want to like purchase, like a car or your first home or like a new home or anything like that. I just hope for the best for all of us in 2021 as always. But I really appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you very soon. Bye!